text, call a friend, tell them that you're tuned in to Living Single. Living Single, from Chantel Monet. Send a text, call a friend, tell them that you're tuned in to Living Single. Living Single, from Chantel Monet. Send a text, call a friend, tell them that you're tuned in to Living Single. Living Single, from Chantel Monet. Send a text, call a friend, tell them that you're tuned in to Living Single.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Chantel Monet, and we're here for another episode of Living Single. So, how's everybody doing? How's your day been? I want some feedback from you. And remember, always, that you can join any discussion that we're having here on the show by calling in at 1-855-493-6499 or commenting on Facebook, whatever's easiest for you. And so I want to start the show with a question. What are some of your greatest lessons so far this year? And I want everyone to give some feedback, drop your comment, call in, whatever. I want to hear you. I actually took the time today to ask some of my friends this question, and so I'm going to share some of their responses with you and hope that you can chime in and if you agree or share your response as well, because I want to hear it. And so some of them shared that they learned to keep their ear close to God's mouth and stay focused. They learned that that to make a positive change, you have to focus on you and focus on changing your mindset. And everything will fall into place or fall off, but it's up to you which one it will. And they also share that life will always teach you, but you have control over what you get out of it. Some shared that you learn not to trust everybody, but to be discerning. And some shared to, stay focused and stay connected to stay focused on your plans and your dreams you have. So what are some of the lessons that you've learned so far this year? I want to hear them. I have more from people. They shared that you have to learn how to be done with people, not mad, not bothered, not throwing shade, just done. And know that everyone is in your corner and genuinely wishing you well, but not to be hurt by it, but to learn from it. They've also shared that being where and who you are called to be produces peace. That not everyone is for you, and that's okay. No matter how long they've been around, in whatever capacity they held, let people go. God cannot move you the way he wants to if you're trying to take the wrong people with you. And be still, listen, and focus. Being on that level with Christ reaps benefits and opportunities that you couldn't dream of for yourself if you tried. And so those are just some that friends have shared with me about what are the greatest lessons they've learned so far this year. And so this question actually came because today is July 1st, and it's the half mark of the year. We're entering into the second quarter. The second quarter of the year, the final quarter of the year. And, I call this the halftime, where you have to consider what's happened in the past 6 months in order to prepare and be successful in the next 6 months. And so you made these declarations, for your year. You're going to do this. You're going to become this. You're going to start this. You're going to lose this, And so now is the time to see how far you've come in those goals and aspirations and those declarations that you've made. Because the truth of the matter is you still have time to accomplish them, but you just have to reevaluate where you are right now and see, have you even been on the path to accomplishing them to begin with? Have you even taken the time to consider them after that week of New Year resolutions has gone by? Was it something that you really wanted to do or was called to accomplish, or were you just caught up in the hype of a New Year's resolution, so you came up with something to just join in with the crowd. And so, actually, a good friend of mine, the Sanctified Chick, hey sis, Alyssa Banks, she actually shared today six lessons that she learned this year so far, and I just wanted to share them because they were pretty good, and they weren't. They were her personal lessons that she's learned, but I believe that we've all, in some way, shape, or form, learned them this year. And so she shared, for one, that God is the only constant. Everything else is a variable. And two, that you can't hold people accountable to your expectations of the relationship unless you've shared it with them. Everybody wasn't raised like you and doesn't think like you. And I think that's a powerful lesson to learn, because we oftentimes have expectations for people that they don't know nothing about. So how can they be or become what you're expecting them to be if they don't know that that's what you're expecting? And so we do ourselves a disservice by holding them to that standard, and they don't even know it. So yeah. And she said, everything starts with me. I am the catalyst for my life, so I have to move efficiently and effectively. And I think that one is where we should be now, in the half mark, because here we are, halftime, and it's really up to us whether this end of the year we are effective or efficient in our lives or not, and it's no other fault but ours. We can't hold anyone else accountable to it but ourselves, because it's our goals, our dreams, and anything that we want to accomplish, we can, as long as we keep our mind to it, as long as we create a plan, a goal, and we stick to it. But we don't always do that. And so understanding the fact that everything starts with you and continues with you. Yeah, you'll have people that will support you, but knowing that it starts with you, that you are the catalyst for your life. You're a catalyst for change in your life. And so it makes you take responsibility for yourself. It makes you take responsibility for your life and not blaming other people, and understanding the fact that you're in this place because this is how you got yourself here, whether it's good or bad. But there's always more, there's always better that can come. But you've gotten here because of you and how you thought, maybe how you follow through with plans, how you write out your goals, how you write out your visions, all manner of things have gotten you to this place. She also shared that she can't force anyone to like her, but I can't force anyone to like me, but I can make it difficult not to like me. Now that's deep, and I want y'all to think on that. And then she said, seek after peace. Drama is exhausting, and I don't have that energy to waste. And so I agree. And I believe that a lot of times we aren't accomplishing things because we're feeding drama, we're feeding toxic places, people, and things that are taken away from the goals that we've set, that are taken away from the plans that we're trying to execute, if we are even executing them, because we're allowing drama and distractions to get in the way. And 6 is that contentment is often the eye of the storm, the only peaceful part of this hurricane called life. And so those are a few of the 6 things those are the 6 things that she shared as the lessons for this that she's learned so far this year. And I think that, just as Alyssa did, I think it's important for all of us to take time to evaluate some of the lessons that we've learned, to understand what we've experienced, good, bad, indifferent, where we're trying to go in life, how we're trying to accomplish it, and how we're trying to go about it. That time of evaluation and reevaluation will put you back on the path that you need to be on. I see that Brianna said that she learned to always have faith in everything she does. She knows that she'll have bad days, but things will work out. And she learned to have faith and more patience with herself and with her family, and learned to love herself a little more this year. And that's important. Loving yourself is very important, and that's actually probably a key tool into understanding and knowing that everything starts with you, And so if you don't love yourself, you won't have the mindset or the faith and hope within yourself to be able to accomplish the things and goals that you set out. And so it'll set you back, And so you may have a good idea, you may have a good dream, you may have this, that, and the third, but without that love, without that self-respect, without that hope in yourself, and in your dream you won't be able to accomplish it, And so I believe that in this time of evaluation, in this halftime, you really just have to take a moment. You have to reflect, and you have to be focused and forward minded. Self-compassion is key. That's correct. And you have to be forward minded. You have to understand that you can accomplish anything. It's not hard. It's hard. It's not easy. It may be hard, but it's doable. And so the more self-love you have, the self-respect, things like that, a good circle around you, people that will, keep you uplifted, people that will push you, people that will correct you, people that will say, that's not for you. You need those kind of people in your life that'll be consistent and that will be there for you. But ultimately, it's up to you to accomplish those things. Ultimately, it's up to you to be able to say, this is what I'm trying to accomplish this year. This is what I need to do that, and to just do it. And so I say that you take this time to just identify and re-identify the things that you're trying to accomplish. This is the middle point. You have just as much time as you had before to accomplish these things, and it can be done. Don't lose faith in yourself. Don't automatically call the year a failure because you've gotten to the middle point and you haven't accomplished the task. But you just have to grind harder. You have to go after it, hustle harder, and it can be accomplished. It can be done, but you have to believe in yourself. And that sometimes we'll give up halfway through when there's a whole other quarter to fight in, And so I consider this the halftime. And just like I was thinking about basketball, and I don't play basketball, but but I was thinking about basketball and how they have a halftime, And so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe during halftime is your time to just like rest, but be forward thinking. Like, though you're taking a rest because you've just put out something so much during the first 2 quarters, but you're being forward thinking because you want to win the game. You want to be able to make the best plays and whatever. What do you have? Shots and stuff, all that. What is it? Baskets and hoops and everything. Buckets, there we go. All of that. You want to be able to get all of those. You want to do free throws, win ball games. You want to be able to do that. And shout out to Hampton University. And you want to be able to, keep your head in the game, even though the score could be less favorable. But you want to be able to keep your head in the game. And halftime is a time to replenish yourself and get prepared. And so in the halftime, you prepare for the second half, but you prepare mind, body, and soul. This is not just, I'm gonna just sit here and drink water, but you got to keep your mind in the game. You can't be distracted. You can't be talking on the phone. You can't be doing all these things. And so just like in the game, you need to do that in your life. We're taking the time to just have some self-time, have some reflection time, have some moments that are just for you, where you can reflect, where you're not getting, opinions, thoughts, and ideas from other people, but that you're solidifying your own. You're seeing where you are at this moment in this space. What are you feeling like? How is your heart towards everything? What is your mindset towards it? How are you really feeling? How are you feeling about yourself? And these are all things that you can do to prepare for the second quarter, for the final half. And also, you need to reevaluate your game plan and adjust as necessary. So you set plans in January, maybe December, for the year. And so here we are in July. And if it's not working, adjust it. Don't throw the whole thing away because it hasn't worked. But okay, just adjust it so that it will work, or give it another try. Don't give up on it. So if you said you're only going to spend $50 a week, I don't know. And then you said, then here we are and you're spending like $75. And so you say you were only going to spend $50 by cooking every single day. Well, you realize that your schedule doesn't allow for you to cook every single day. So instead, maybe you need to say, okay, I'm going to cook on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then that'll reduce the the cooking pressure, and that'll reduce the money you spend. Just adjust the plan. Don't just completely throw it away because you realize that you aren't being successful in it. And so I believe that by doing that, by taking that time to readjust and to plan again, and to even there are things that you may realize that you set to be your goal and your aspiration for the year, and you haven't done anything to accomplish them. Now's the time. Take this time of reflection and be serious about it. Be intentional about it, and your outcome will be great, I promise, because you'll take this time to reevaluate. You'll take this time to sit down and really center yourself and to see where you are, because understanding where you are right now will help you understand why you haven't or have accomplished your goals that you have set out for, the things that your resolutions that you claim that you want to obtain and fulfill. And so also you have to have winning as the goal, but to be okay if you don't win. And so, you want to win the game, but if you don't win, you don't stop playing. So if you want to accomplish this, but at December 31st at 11:59 you haven't accomplished it, it's okay, but don't just throw it away like, oh, I didn't do that in this year. And I think a lot of times we'll set resolutions for a year, we won't accomplish them, and then we never revisit them until something dire happens or we have no other choice, and then we bring it back up like, this is what I'm going to do. This is my resolution. But no, if you don't accomplish it, if you don't win the game, keep going. Allow it to go on to the next year until you accomplish it, because that's the benefit of having a goal and vision and a plan, that it's not always a set time that it will happen, but as long as you started and you're working and you see the progress, then you'll see that, okay, I can keep this up. And so, celebrate every little progress. You don't have to win the whole game, but if you got some points doing your free throws, then that's good. If you're okay, I don't want to spend more than $50, and 1 week you spend 44, celebrate that. If the next week you might not quite make the mark, that's okay too. Reflect, revisit why you didn't do so, and go forward with the mindset that you can accomplish it. Where we do ourselves the disservice is when we may be making progress, and that one time where we stop making progress, we completely throw it out the window. Like, I knew I couldn't do this. And so it's all on us because we're talking down on ourselves. We stop believing in ourselves after one mistake, after one time of not being able to accomplish what we set out to do. And so you really just need to take that time to be intentional. Be intentional about everything you do. Be intentional about the plans you're setting for the rest of the year. Be intentional about your mindset that you have, about the words that you're feeding yourself, about the words that you're allowing people that are around you to feed you and to feed your environment, about the environments that you're in. Because if you want to accomplish things, everything about your life needs to be about you accomplishing those things. And so I'm not saying be in isolation, but I'm saying that be mindful that everything that you're around, everything that you're listening to, it impacts how well you accomplish the things that you've set out to do. And so I also want you to remember to retain every lesson and apply it. And so just as you've shared today the lessons, or that you thought about the lessons that you learned so far this year, retain those lessons. And so as you're evaluating where you are and you're keeping those lessons in mind, going forward, attempt to apply the things you've learned so that you won't end up living your year and your life in a circle. Because when we learn lessons, when we see that there's a lesson that can be learned and we claim to learn it but we don't retain it and apply it, we repeat the same situations over and over again because we're not applying what we've learned. So if you apply what you learn, you'll be more successful because you're retaining the knowledge from where you've already been. But when you don't retain something, you don't go forward. Just like when you're in school, if you didn't pass the classes, if you didn't retain the knowledge and pass the test, you didn't go to the next level. So it's the same principles in life. You need to retain the knowledge from the lessons and apply them. And so whether the lessons were good lessons, that made you feel good, or whether they were lessons that caused you pain, apply what you've learned. And so it will keep you from revisiting that situation again. And it will allow you to be able to learn new lessons, and so I believe that we consider lessons, they have to be bad things. But you can learn good lessons, like financial management or, time management, things like that. And then they don't always have to be lessons about how your heart's been broken or things of that nature, but all of the lessons are good lessons. And so retain the knowledge. And that goes back to, even if you don't win the game, keep your head in the game. And so that's how you keep your head in the game, by taking the lessons that you learned this game. Like, oh, I went right when I should have went left. I ducked when I was supposed to dodge. All of that. You keep your head in the game, you'll remember that for the next time you face that situation, or it comes up, you're like, oh no, I know not to go right, I'm supposed to go left. But if you don't retain that knowledge, or you consider it, or you're so focused on just getting through, then you're not taking in the lessons. You're going to always find yourself back in the same situations, because you're not retaining the knowledge, because you're not taking the lessons seriously, or because you just are so oblivious to the fact that there's even a lesson to be learned. And so I just encourage you to retain the knowledge, to sit down and consider, what lessons have I been able to learn this year, or what lessons have I learned over the past year. What things have I learned that I haven't applied? And take the time to add those to your plan, or make a mental note of it. Actually make a physical note of it, and so that as you're going through your day, as you wake up, maybe reading affirmations or whatever, that you can see it, and it be a reminder that it's something that you need to incorporate in your life, whether it be something that's personal for you, something that's about your environment, something that's about your people that are around you, or getting to know people, whether it's about motives, whether it's about, I don't know, finances, anything, whatever it's about, take it seriously. Be intentional about your path and the plan that you're taking to execute for the rest of the year, because the ball is in your court, literally. And so you can either win or lose. You can either go for it or not. But you'd rather go for it and not win than to have not gone at all and the winning ball was in your court. And so just take this halftime, refresh yourself, replenish yourself, center yourself, get to know yourself, identify where you are, where your mindset is, figure out where you're trying to get it to go, write it down. That's important. When you write it down, you're able to look at it, you're able to go back and revisit it. A lot of times, because we're in such a technologically savvy generation, we'll just keep it in our phones, or we'll be like, oh, I'll make a mental note of this, or but it's something about writing things down and being able to go back and look at it, to see, like, literally how far you've come. If you haven't make a vision board. Take that time. Let that be your time of reflection and reevaluation and encouragement for your path ahead. Make a vision board for the rest of the year, seeing what you're trying to accomplish, how far you're trying to go, and allow that moment to be time where you can assess where you've already come from. And if you have a vision board, go back, look at it, see if you've accomplished things on there, see if there's things that you haven't accomplished that you still would like to accomplish. But take this time seriously, because really the ball is in your court. You have the choice to go forward, to stay stagnant, or to not go at all. And you can't blame anyone, because it's all you. It's all your choice. It's all based on how you see yourself, what the goals and the plans are that you have. And being able to just trust that if it's for you, it will be, but you also have to work at it. You can't have one without the other. And so you just have to stay focused on it and be hopeful within yourself, be encouraging to yourself, be positive, gain a positive mindset. Allow yourself to see yourself where you're trying to go. Don't allow whatever is going around you to cause you to just give up, or to just think it and not really believe it. Like, don't just be like spewing off words because you think somebody else will be pleased by it, but do it because you believe that that's what you need to do. You believe in yourself enough to believe that you can accomplish it and have hope enough to believe that you can accomplish it. Not just because it's convenient or not just to go with the trends. If you didn't have no resolutions this year, that's okay too. But whatever you're working on to accomplish, do that. Whether it's from last year, whether it's taking you 2 years to accomplish it, so it's your resolution from 2 years ago. Revisit those things that you declared but haven't accomplished. Because now's the time to get back in the game. Now's the time to say, okay, what am I going to do next? You know, okay, I've done all of this and it's worked out great, but what's next? Take the time to reevaluate. Take the time to just center yourself and be like, okay, I've got this. Like, my head's in the game, you know, because when you take that time to center yourself, when you take that time to gather yourself, it doesn't matter what happens, who comes, who goes, what's going on in the world. Your determination from within, your hope and your belief from within will always overpower all of those situations, and it will help you to be more cognizant of what you're allowing in, and be more cognizant of what you're giving off to people, you know, what you're saying, how you're coming off, and how you're doing tasks and things in your own life that'll get you towards the goals that you have. And so just be mindful of that and take this time very seriously, you know, and encourage your friends and your family to do the same, because you, as much as you want to win for yourself, you want to see everyone around you winning too, and being, and at least taking steps to create a better life for them. Not that life is not good, but there's always more for us to do. There's always more for us to accomplish. There's always more things for us to see and places to go. And so just doing that and maintaining the love that you have for yourself, maintaining everything that you have for yourself. And so just staying focused on that, and realizing that this year it's still possible to accomplish everything that you've set out to accomplish. It's still possible for you to become who you want to be, for you to show up as who you want to show up as, for you to open that store, for you to start that business, for you to become a motivational speaker, for you to start your photography, for your art, all the things that you want to do. It's possible. You have the time, you have the means, but you just have to focus yourself. You know, you have to let go of some things that aren't serving you in that manner. You have to choose to do better for yourself and not allow just what's going on. You know, don't go with the wind, but be conscious, be intentional about this period of going forward that you have. And so that was our show for today. We're going to have a motivational moment really quickly. And so this quote was that relationships require maintenance. There's a difference between maintaining a good relationship and forcing a bad one that doesn't make sense to work. And so I chose that today as we're talking about halftime, because a lot of our influence comes from the relationships that we have with people. You know, and so just being mindful of the relationships that you have and choosing wisely, and realizing how much you're giving out, how much you're getting back. Not that it's always about give and take, but there should be some type of balance. And so why drain yourself while others are getting everything from you? And why you're not getting much back at all, you know? And so be mindful. If it doesn't make sense to work, if it's not meant to work, then just let it go, and it's okay. And what's meant for you, the relationships that are meant for you, the people that are meant to be there will show up. So don't hold on to people because you feel like you don't have others there. Allow those people to go so that the right people that are meant to be there can come, and they can be the ones that help push you and encourage you, even after you've learned to encourage and push and have belief in yourself. So thanks for tuning in to Living Single. That's our show for today, and we'll see you next month.
Send a text, call a friend, tell them that you're tuned in to Living Single, from Sean till morning. Send a text, call a friend, tell them that you're tuned in to Living Single, from Sean till morning. Send a text, call a friend, tell them that you're tuned in to Living Single, from Sean till morning.